Don't you think it's time you grew some eggs and turned your OS Japanese? Written by Khatzumoto, posted in February of 2014. You wouldn't believe how many gaijin I know in Japan who are convinced, absolutely convinced, that turning on Japanese TV or changing their gadget interfaces to Japanese will not help. Most have never tried. Some did try for a couple of weeks. My question is, why are they so sure? Where does that certainty come from? They don't know how to learn Japanese, because they want to know it but they still don't. But they do know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, what will and will not work. And then you get the ones who tried it for a couple of weeks but then gave up because of one of these 4 or 5 reasons I'm about to systematically destroy. 1. It didn't work. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. 2-week wonder. I'm sorry that your 2 weeks of immersion didn't give you results comparable to a toddler's 5 unbroken years, 260 weeks and counting, a teenager's 10 years, 520 weeks and counting, or an adult's 20, 1,040 weeks and counting. A lifetime immersion plus ongoing daily maintenance, and you couldn't make up 260 weeks in 2. Is there a condolence book I can sign? 2. I couldn't understand anything. That's the point. If you could understand it all, then there'd be no point. The point is that you don't know the language yet. You're not used to it yet. Lexically, or, and this is effing important, and you know it's effing important in English, but your second-order thinking module hasn't allowed you to realize that it's important in Japanese as well, prosodically. So you throw yourself in and swim. Your brain is an action hero like that. She, your brain's a chick today, is like Salt, and Chiwetel Ejiofor is not flying in to save her. No helicopter, no extraction, just you, her, and Japanese. If you give her a way out, she'll find a way through, because your brain is an invincible Russian sleeper agent. 3. I just memorized everything anyway. Good. Now let the exposure do its slow hunch work. Over time, you will get used to and/or curious about what all the Japanese actually says. Over time, you will pick things up, and the things you pick up from interfaces you do understand and you do have memorized will eventually serve you very well in new and unfamiliar situations where you haven't had the chance to memorize. That's the true point of memorization. It's not to give you the power of the known, that's the exam or ludic fallacy at work, but to give you power over the unknown. When you're alone, unarmed, dictionary-less, and friendless, your only weapon is your body and the Japanese it has memorized. But if you've Bruce Lee buffed up your memory, you'll do fine. Don't denigrate memory, I get this all the time. But I've memorized the SRS card. Good. Warp it out into the future when it's more of a challenge again. You see, Grasshopper, you're supposed to have chunks of Japanese memorized whole and effortlessly in your head. That's almost the point of the game. That's how the whole Far King system works. You take these chunks and mix and match them, old wine in new bottles, presto, we call that creativity and originality. It is how the entire human learning system works. I mean, have you read nothing on chess research? What, do you think we, chess masters, are crunching numbers and running through a cajillion possibilities and probabilities like Deep Blue? No, wrong. All we do is pattern matching and massive parallelism. That is our thing. That's how organic intelligence functions. That's how an electrochemical quote-unquote computer that runs on sugar water works. The kind of endless inference from first principles you're hoping for is brutally time and energy inefficient. It would take a lot more than sugar water to power such a machine working at useful speed. Indeed, even electronic computers do lazy things like use lookup tables and stuff. In programming, frequently used variables are hard-coded, not calculated anew from scratch. Now, hard-coding is considered bad style in many contexts and can lead to opacity and magic numberism. No matter, because your human computer that is not a computer is all about the hard-coding. But here's the clever part. Unlike an electronic computer, which produces concrete results from abstract commands, you run the opposite way. A critical mass of concrete knowledge allows you to form abstractions. And in order to get to this critical mass, you need to have the language hard-coded in your head. If you ever want to converse at anything approaching human speed and not be Windows 3.1 hourglassing people every time it's your turn to say something, you don't need to know conjugations, you need whole nutrients. You just need the whole phrase already there, plonk, in your head. SRS, MCDs, will give you that superpower effortlessly. We've been getting it wrong all this time. We've been trying to teach and treat human beings like machines, steam engines, cars, computers, all this time, and we have been wrong. Every age has its mechanical metaphor for humanity, and every age gets it wrong because the metaphor, while useful, breaks down at key points. Case in point, the entire education system and everything that imitates it. Let me repeat myself. You, human, orga not mecha, you, are all about hard coding. Initially, you start with no principles, only facts. And like magic, you turn these facts into patterns and rules. No one but an idiot attempts to teach young Timmy about vowel shifts and gerunds. You don't even tell him about parts of speech until he can already, well, do speech really darn well. And the rules you teach him are just icing, a decoration on his already tasty cake. Unfortunately, there are many well-meaning, intelligent idiots in the world. Dumb, smart people, as Will Smith might say if this were a scene in I, Robot. And because of these dumb smarties, suddenly, when it comes to foreign languages, suddenly humans aren't humans anymore. Suddenly we're freaking Turing machines with ticker tape and no feelings and no preferences. And you feed us rules, no cake, all icing. The cake is made of icing. And you wonder why people get sick of foreign languages, only to run away and complain about it in a native language. They're not sick of languages, they're sick of being bored and confused. Well, 9 to that, people. Niet to that shit. You don't need a breakdown of what the words are, what the parts are. Don't get me wrong, there are glorious exceptions. Component analysis works well with kanji, for example, but not with the other things. You need to hear and see and know the right way of saying things, the native consensus. And you imitate and internalize, memorize, that, mix and match, bada bing. You're a language genius. You're so talented, please translate for me. 4. Learning by osmosis doesn't work. Yes, of course, which is why you've unconsciously adopted the speech patterns, mannerisms, cadence, and vocabulary of the people you live and work with. No, osmosis doesn't work, not alone, but it works like crazy. You've just gotta leave it alone and stop fiddling. That's why it's osmosis. By definition, you don't meddle, you let it happen. Conscious learning is the spark, but osmosis is the fire. You need frequent sparks to keep the fire alive and help it along, but not long ones. You thought I'd forgotten the 4th reason, didn't ya? Nope, got it. I ramble with purpose, son. Smiley face. 5. Nobody has patience like you, cats. Violent animal mating you. Are you kidding me? I can't even wait in line for a burrito. I'll go home and have a chapati instead. I don't go to restaurants on weekends, holidays, or at lunchtime. That's how impatient I am. It's not about patience, it's about leaving things alone. Set and forget.